Why did God ask Adam, "Where are you?" if he already knew everything? If God is all-knowing, why would he ask a question like that? Was God actually searching for Adam, or was something deeper happening? There's a powerful detail many overlook. If you enjoy discovering intriguing questions from the Bible that strengthen your faith, subscribe and leave a like on this video. To understand this mystery, we go back to the beginning of the Bible, to a world untouched by sin. The Garden of Eden was perfect. No fear, no shame, no pain. Adam and Eve lived in complete harmony with God. They walked with Him, spoke with Him, experiencing a relationship humanity has longed to restore ever since. Everything in the garden reflected God's goodness. Every tree, river, and creature existed in perfect balance. But in this paradise stood one command God gave Adam: eat from any tree except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God made it clear, on the day they ate, something serious would happen. Everything seemed peaceful, but then the serpent appeared. What it did next altered human history. The serpent began with a question. Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? With that simple question, doubt entered the human mind for the very first time. Eve repeated God's command, but the serpent twisted the truth, suggesting God was holding something back. It claimed if they ate the fruit, their eyes would open, and they'd become like God. Suddenly, the fruit looked different. What once seemed dangerous now looked desirable. And then it happened. Eve took the fruit and ate it. But that's not the strangest part. She then gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate it as well. In that moment, something inside them changed instantly. Their eyes were opened, but not as the serpent promised. Instead of becoming like God, they became aware of their own nakedness. For the first time, Adam and Eve felt shame. What they did next reveals something profound about the human heart. Instead of running toward God, they hid. They sewed fig leaves to cover themselves, trying to hide their vulnerability. When they heard God, something unexpected happened. They hid among the trees. Think about that. The same God they once walked with freely, they were now hiding from. But here's what most people miss. God already knew exactly what had happened. He knew they ate the fruit, knew they were hiding, knew their hearts were filled with fear and shame. Yet the next thing God does is both simple and mysterious. He calls out to Adam, "Where are you?" At first glance, the question seems strange. If God is all-knowing, he didn't need to ask. There was no possibility Adam had successfully hidden from the Creator. So why ask the question? Was God pretending not to know, or was there something far deeper happening in this moment? To understand this, we must pay close attention to what happens immediately after the question. Adam answers from his hiding place. "I heard you, and I was afraid because I was naked. So I hid." Those words reveal something that had never existed before in human experience: fear. Before that moment, Adam had never been afraid of God, but now something had changed inside him. The relationship that once felt natural now felt threatening. And what happens next is even more surprising. God asks another question. "Who told you that you were naked?" Again, this seems unnecessary. Of course, God already knew the answer. But these questions were not about gathering information. They were about something else entirely. This detail changes everything. When God asked Adam, "Where are you?" he was not asking for Adam's physical location. God was inviting Adam to recognize his spiritual condition. Adam had moved from innocence to guilt, from openness to hiding, from trust to fear. Yet, instead of judging Adam, God began with a question. Why? Because questions invite reflection. Questions force us to confront the truth about ourselves. Imagine the silence in the garden. Adam hiding, his heart racing, the weight of guilt pressing down. Then the voice of God calling out, "Where are you?" God knew where Adam was standing, but Adam did not yet understand where he had fallen. And the real meaning behind this moment may surprise you. This question was not about location. It was about relationship. Adam had distanced himself from God, not physically, but spiritually. Sin had created separation. And God's question was the first step to bringing that reality into the open. But that's not the strangest part. Even after Adam answered, the conversation continued with more questions. God asked what happened, and Adam responded by shifting the blame. He blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. Instead of confession, there was deflection. Instead of responsibility, there was fear, yet God continued speaking with them. Which raises another important question. If God already knew everything, why did he allow Adam to speak at all? The answer begins to reveal something extraordinary about the character of God. The question, "Where are you?" reveals something deeply personal. God does not force confession, he invites it. He does not expose our failures with immediate condemnation. He calls us to step out of hiding. When God asked Adam where he was, it was not an interrogation, it was an invitation. An invitation for Adam to come out from behind the trees. An invitation to acknowledge what had happened. An invitation to restore the broken relationship. But here's the part most people miss. That question in the Garden of Eden did not end there. In many ways, it echoes throughout the entire Bible. Again and again, God calls out to people. To Abraham, to Moses, to the prophets, and ultimately through Jesus. Each time, the message carries the same underlying question, where are you? Not where you are physically, but where you stand in your relationship with God. Are you walking with him? Or hiding from him? Are you living in trust? Or hiding behind fear, shame, or guilt? What happens next in the story reveals something remarkable about God's mercy. Even though Adam and Eve had disobeyed him, God did not abandon them. Yes, there were consequences. The harmony of Eden was broken. Humanity would experience pain, struggle, and separation from the garden. But before sending them out, God did something unexpected. He made garments for them. Instead of fragile fig leaves, God provided clothing made from animal skins. This moment carries deep symbolism. It shows that even after humanity's first failure, God was already moving toward redemption. He covered their shame. He provided what they could not provide for themselves. That moment points forward to a greater act of redemption. But this detail changes everything. The question, "Where are you?" was never about God lacking knowledge. It was about God pursuing a relationship. God knew exactly where Adam was hiding, but he wanted Adam to step forward, to speak, to recognize the truth. And that same question still echoes today. Not because God is unaware of our lives, but because he invites us to stop hiding, to step out of fear, to return to him. So the next time you read that verse in Genesis and hear God asking Adam, "Where are you?" remember this. It was not the question of a God searching for information. It was the call of a God searching for the human heart. A God who sees us even when we hide. A God who calls us out of shame and back into relationship. And the real message behind that question is as powerful today as it was in the Garden of Eden. God still calls out. And the question still remains, where are you?